Now student, these are the comparison of the three different types of the material, magnetic material, that is dia, para and ferro. What is diamagnetic material? The diamagnetic material is that material which develop a very small magnetization in the opposite direction of the magnetizing field. Means when you will place a diamagnetic substance, for example bismuth, copper, lead, zinc, gold, silicon, etc. So when you will place it in the magnetic field, now they will be magnetized in a direction opposite to the direction of the magnetic field. So that kind of substance is called the diamagnetic substance. So as you are observing in the diagram below, that when the diamagnetic substance is placed in the external magnetic field, they are feebly repelled by the magnet. Means no magnetic field lines, or very few, or only one magnetic field line passes through the magnet. Okay, so lines of force prefer to pass through the surrounding air in this condition than to pass through the diamagnetic material. That means lines of force get repelled or expelled. So this is the diagram of the diamagnetic substance in the external magnetic field. Now the second is the paramagnetic substance. What are the paramagnetic substances? These are substances which develop feeble magnetization in the direction of the magnetizing field. Whatever the direction of the magnetic field you have taken, they are align itself in the direction of the magnetic field, external magnetic field, and they are feebly attracted by the magnet and tend to move from weaker to stronger part of the magnetizing field. Means it will always move from the weaker region of the magnet to the stronger region of the magnetic field. Examples of the paramagnetic substances are manganese, aluminium, chromium, platinum, sodium, copper chloride, oxygen, etc. So as you are observing in the diagram, that the lines of force prefer to pass through the magnetic material, paramagnetic material, than through the surrounding air. Means a few lines of magnetic lines of force passes through the paramagnetic substance. So the lines of force get slightly more concentrated inside the material, and these material, when placed in a non-uniform magnetic field, they tend to move slowly from weaker to the stronger part of the field. Now the third type of material is what? That is the ferromagnetic substances. Ferromagnetic substances are those which develop strong magnetization in the direction of the magnetizing field, and they are strongly attracted by the magnet and tend to move from weaker to stronger part of the magnetic field. So examples of the ferromagnetic substances, very common examples: iron, cobalt, nickel. Okay, alloys like alnico. Iron is a ferromagnetic substance. Okay, and you are observing in the diagram that when the ferromagnetic substance is placed in the magnetic field, external magnetic field, they are strongly attracted by the magnets also, and the magnetic lines of force get highly concentrated in the ferromagnetic material. So you are observing more and more field line passing through the ferromagnetic substance, so that magnetic induction is greater than the magnetic field in a air. So inside the ferromagnetic substance, the magnetic field B is more than the outside the magnetic field, that is B naught. Now the diamagnetic substance, when placed in the magnetic field, it moves from the stronger to weaker part, because it is feebly repelled by the magnetizing field. And when the paramagnetic substance placed in a uniform magnetic field, it moves from the weaker to stronger part. Means they will be attracted by the magnet, or they will be moved towards the stronger part of the magnetic field, the region where the magnetic field intensity is more. And similarly, the ferromagnetic substance, when placed in a non-uniform magnetic field, it moves from again weaker to stronger field. Okay, because the properties of the para and ferro is similar, but the strength in ferro is more as compared to para. So that is why it is also moved from the weaker to stronger region of the magnetic field. And now when the diamagnetic substance, or you can say a rod, as indicated in the diagram, is freely suspended in a uniform magnetic field, it aligns itself in a direction perpendicular to the field. So you are observing direction of magnetic field from N to S, uniform magnetic field, and when the diamagnetic rod is placed in a magnetic field, then it aligns itself in a direction perpendicular to the magnetic field because it is repelled by the magnetic field. Now when the paramagnetic rod is freely suspended in the uniform magnetic field, it aligns itself in the direction parallel to the field. So when you will place the paramagnetic substance in a magnetic field, so it will align itself in a direction parallel to the magnetic field. And when a that is ferromagnetic substance is placed, it is also align itself in a direction parallel to the magnetic field quickly, means it align itself so quickly in a direction of the magnetic field compared to paramagnetic substance. In the paramagnetic substance, rod will take some time to align itself in the direction of the field, but in the case of the ferromagnetic substance, the rod align quickly at once itself in a direction of the magnetic field. Now see, in the diamagnetic substance, suppose we have taken a liquid in a watch glass and it is placed in a uniform magnetic field as indicated in the diagram. So it collects away from the center when the magnetic poles are closer and collects at the center when the magnetic poles are farther. So you are observing that in the diamagnetic substance, what will happen? In the diamagnetic substance, the material, when placed in a non-uniform magnetic field, tends to move slowly from stronger to weaker part. So you are observing in the first diagram, the poles of the magnet are very close to each other. So there the strength of magnetic field is more, but the diamagnetic substance will be less there and it will be more at the poles where the magnetic field is slightly weaker as compared to center. When you will increase the distance between the poles, then what will happen? The strength of magnetic field in the middle decreases and at the pole increases. But the diamagnetic substance move from stronger to weaker. So that is why in the second case, it will move more in the middle as compared to the poles. So it will move from stronger to weaker region of the magnetic field. As now just opposite in the para and ferro, when the pole distance are very less, then at the middle the field is stronger and the tendency of the paramagnetic substance is to move from weaker to stronger part of the magnetic field. So at the middle, in the first case, the magnetic field is stronger. So that is why the paramagnetic substance move from the pole towards the center of the magnetic field. And in the second case, when the distance between the magnets increases, now the strength of magnetic field at the middle decreases. So that is why the paramagnetic substance move from weaker to stronger, means from the middle it will move towards the pole of the magnet in the second case, move from weaker to stronger part. Similarly, the same case indicated in the ferromagnetic substance also, but the process will be more quick as compared to paramagnetic substance. When a diamagnetic substance is placed in a magnetic field, it is weakly magnetized in the direction of opposite to the inducing field, applied field. And paramagnetic substance, it is weakly magnetized in the direction of the inducing field, means it will be align itself in the direction of field. And ferromagnetic substance is strongly magnetized in the direction of the magnetizing field. Induced dipole moment in a diamagnetic substance, that is capital M, is a small and having negative value, having a small negative value, because there is no permanent dipole moment in the diamagnetic substance. But induced dipole moment in the para means when you will place in the magnetizing field, then paramagnetic substance, they have a permanent dipole moment. So all the molecules, they will align in a particular direction, in the direction of the magnetic field. So that is why the induced dipole moment of paramagnetic substance has a small positive value, and induced dipole moment in the ferro also large positive value, because the properties of para and ferro will be similar, but there will be much stronger value in the case of the ferro compared to para. Now intensity of magnetization, that is I, has a small negative value for the diamagnetic substance, and intensity of magnetization has a small positive value for the paramagnetic substance. Similarly, the intensity of magnetization has a large positive value for the ferromagnetic substance. Magnetic permeability mu is less than unity, because it is repelled by the magnetizing field. So that is why the permeability, means the extent to which the magnetic magnetization comes in the diamagnetic substance, that is less. So it is less than unity, it is very less magnetized in the magnetizing field. But the magnetic permeability mu in the case of para, it is more than unity, because the extent to which it is magnetized in the magnetizing field, it is more. And magnetic permeability mu is larger than unity in the case of the that ferromagnetic substance. Okay, for example, for the para, if it is 1.2, so in the case of the ferromagnetic substance, it can be 1.9 or 2. Now the magnetic susceptibility has a small negative value for the diamagnetic substance, and magnetic susceptibility has a small positive value for the para and a large positive value for the ferro. Now the last property, the diamagnetic substance, they do not obey Curie's law. What is Curie law? The Curie law is that above the Curie point or temperature, the magnetic substance loses its magnetism. So they do not obey the Curie law. Their properties do not change with the temperature. But in the case of the paramagnetic substance, they obey the Curie's law. Means if for a certain temperature for a particular material, the temperature of the substance raises, then paramagnetic substance loses their magnetic properties with rise in temperature. So that limiting value of the temperature below which the paramagnetic substance retain its magnetic properties, that is called the Curie temperature. And this is same for the ferromagnetic substance. They also obey the Curie law. At a certain temperature called Curie point, they loses ferromagnetic properties and behave like a paramagnetic substance. Now what is Curie law? See, magnetic susceptibility of a material varies inversely with the absolute temperature. What is magnetic susceptibility? So you all know it is a property which determines how easily the magnetic substance can be magnetized when placed in the magnetizing field. So you are observing in the diagram, you have given the magnetizing field or magnetizing force is applied on the substance. So the susceptibility is the ratio of I by H. Okay, so if the ratio of the I by H, so it means I is directly proportional to H. So in that case, when the temperature increases, initially the intensity of magnetization increases, but after certain time, when the temperature increases, okay, then the intensity of magnetization starts decreasing. So Curie temperature for iron is 1000 Kelvin, for cobalt 1400 Kelvin, and for nickel 600 Kelvin. These are the limiting value of the temperature below which the substance retain its magnetic properties. So the susceptibility of aromatic substance above its Curie temperature is inversely proportional to the axis of temperature above the Curie temperature.